Hey there everybody, what is going on? My name is Aditya and welcome back to another brand new video regarding aurelia.js. I thought I'd be going back to my original style because in the last video I just got one dislike. Like wow, that made me really sad. And yeah, one more thing, we just hit 100 subscribers. How cool is that? I feel amazing for that. I don't know how you guys feel. I know 100 subscribers isn't that lot, but it has been growing like 3 subscribers every day, and I'm really happy about it. The reason why I'm not uploading is because my school timings are not matching up, and I have to do a lot of studies. My parents are not allowing me to sit over here, so um, today it was a holiday, maybe tomorrow even it is a holiday, so I'll be uploading like a couple of videos for today and tomorrow, and maybe on next Sunday, I guess. The next video will be out very soon. But anyways, let's just move into this episode. And I know I have covered this in the last video where I introduced you to the CLI, that is the command line interface. So what does exactly Aurelia have that you need to learn is that it doesn't really work the same way the AngularJS, EmberJS or Vue.js work. None of those libraries work exactly the same way like this does. Maybe there's just one library, and that is polymer.js. I don't really know. I've been into it, but I don't really remember because now there must have been a lot of updates, and now it must be like, it must be at pretty high level right now. Let me just see quickly. Uh, Polymer. My computer is super slow, by the way. I'm simply gonna type in there polymer, and let's just see. The time when I had used the polymer, it was at 0.5, I guess. I had been using it for a long time. It's a really cool library. Just let me know it, guys, in case you want the videos on polymer.js. Most probably it will take me a little bit of time to get used to everything new. And wow, it has already been up to polymer 2.0. So from 0.5 to 2.0, it must have been a really long journey. So I guess it has just been released 2.0. I used it like probably or 1.5 years ago, right at the time point when Aurelia came around. It came around in January 2015, just in case you guys didn't know about that. But I'm going to be going over what exactly is the structure of the project of aurelia.js. So right after creating the new project that we created in the last video, just in case you didn't see that video, I'm going to be providing an annotation link over here. I don't know if I'll remember, but there will be the link in the description box below. So I provided a little bit of introduction about how that things exactly work and what exactly is every folder, but I didn't go into too much detail. But in this video I just want to go ahead and get into a little bit of details. So very first thing, I'm gonna be clearing out these few files that are right over here. Now the very first file that you see over here is .babelrc. Now in case you didn't know what exactly babelrc is, it is just ECMAScript based ECMAScript compiler sort of that thing. Just remember it is working around the ECMAScript, that is ES6 or ES next. The next one is editor config file. Now just in case you guys didn't know, editor configs is a really awesome project, and what it exactly does is it just provides every single library, every single code editor. There are several types of code editors: Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, Sublime Text, GVim, Vim, Atom, and I don't know. There are lots and lots, and the library is still growing. And just for that, they have created just one config file for the editors, and it is gonna be there throughout everything. The next file is gitignore, and just in case you guys didn't know what exactly it is just a git file which ignores a particular folders. Node.modules will not be uploaded. .idea, it's a folder. .ds_store, actually these are folders created on the Mac. I don't know about .idea, but this folder is being created on the Mac. So the next file in here is eslinter. Now, what exactly it is? Well, it is, think of it as a debugging software for ECMAScript. Don't really get too much into the details, and there's a favicon which you can obviously change in case you want your uh, application to get a little bit of stylish look. And there's the index.html, which is probably the most root file of your application. Now, obviously, everything that you're going to be putting up there on the web is going to be provided from this root file, and it is going to go through all of those other files and folders and those routes. So if we have just added here a script source with a little bit of data main, that is the Aurelia bootstrapper, the default ones. And what is this? It is a directive aurelia-app, and we provide in their main. So obviously it is just a directive. Oh, my throat is a little bit paining, I don't know why, but Aurelia app is just a little bit of directive. And in case you don't know what it is main, well, that's in the source. There's main.js. It is the root file through which it will be grabbing out all of that data. The next file is Ajs Config, that configures the JavaScript obviously, and there are several modules. If you are new to JavaScript, just ignore this file. You'll be coming to it sometime in your future. It's just a little standard sets. Compilers are there. JavaScript is not just a language that is been directly written. It is one of the most vast languages, and literally anything is possible with the help of JavaScript. Just in case you guys didn't know, there are operating systems made with the help of JavaScript. So obviously you can think about it. You can create the desktop applications, web applications, and even operating system. That just amazes me a lot. Then we have here karma.conf.js. Now what exactly that is? If you go over the file and see the file, it's just a bunch of ECMAScript code, and it has a few modules that it is exporting. It is using a little bit of standard JavaScript. So obviously you don't really need to go through all of this file until and unless you are not getting into the testing part of the application. Every application has the testing part, just in case you guys didn't know. And the last file is package.json. I'll be going over testing, by the way. Okay, there's a special folder over here named as test. Don't think that I skipped that part. Package.json, and well, it just defines what kind of packages do you want. Now let's just say I want a new package, that is the moment. What I can do, oops, I'm sorry, I can go to the npmjs.org. I guess that is the site. I haven't been to this site since I reinstalled everything over here. Well, npmjs.com, and I can simply find out the package. Let's just say I want the package moment, and I'm gonna search for that. There we go. That's the moment. And in case I want it, I simply just go ahead and put in the moment. So what it does is exactly it creates that particular file, and you don't even need this thing. All you need is simply go over there, type in npm install moment hyphen save, just so that it will be saving it for the future projects in case you want it for offline over and over. And obviously moment is a kind of library that I'll be using several times inside of this project, because inside of the value converters and everything like that, I'm gonna be using several of these libraries. So obviously that's one of the thing. np all the things that you install with the help of npm. And obviously you can set up the application name and everything over here, what kind of version it is. And in case you want this to be a repository that is serving as a plugin to some other application, you're going to be providing these kind of things and dependencies and everything like that. But I guess so just leave this file alone until and unless you don't know what exactly you are doing, because this file messing up with this file may result in lots of loss. The next thing is the folders. Now as you can see, there are 5 different folders in here. 1 2 3 4 5. I was just checking if I was right. So what exactly are they? The first folder over here is aurelia_project, and what it does, it exactly creates a few environments, generators, and tasks. Now there are several time points at which you're gonna be needing the aurelia.js to do same work over and over and over again. And in case you don't want that, that is the tasks. And generators are just some generators that generate a little bit of default code for you, like this generates this kind of code for you inside of that project. So obviously generators are just generators, and there are the tasks generators are just generating the files for you. Environments: the developer environment, production environment, and staging environment. Now these are the three different types of environment. On the development environment, you want to be testing and debugging at the same time, whereas on the production environment, you don't want to debug the application to show the user what exactly is the error, because it may make the hacker easy to go ahead and get into the work. Oops, I'm sorry, I clicked on that by mistake. And then there's the staging file, where you just want the debugging. You don't want to test the application. What I mean by testing is this folder, which contains lots of test files. And then there's the production environment, on which you don't want any of those. So obviously that's just a small thing, and I guess I just explained what generators are. It just generates some kind of binding behavior, and obviously these are a few of the files that are there inside of aurelia.js. These are several types: attribute, binding behavior, element, generator, task, and value controller. Now generator is just a file regarding this one file, so obviously there are just 5 of them: attribute, binding behavior, task, value converter, and elements. Task is obviously coming in this one thing, so I guess you can consider it as 4. So all of these 4 files, I'll be talking about them a little bit of time later. So here we have tasks. Oops, I'm sorry. aurelia.json file, which is gonna be requiring all of those dependencies, and it is just the same file, but it is just a little bit styled in a different way. It requires the require.js. Just in case you didn't know what require.js, think of it as a module controlling, I don't know what to say. It is a manager for your application. Next file, node modules. Now in case you don't know what exactly node modules is, just learn something about npm, please, because it is gonna be really hard for you in case you don't know what exactly node modules is and what exactly any of those files mean. Well, I guess you might be knowing what exactly node modules is. So I'm going to be skipping this part, and just in case you don't know, this node modules is creating the modules that are just package.json file. Whatever the files we put in over here are there in the node modules. And just in case you don't know, and just in case you don't trust me, you can go ahead and check out that there is like 1000 plus files. I don't know how much are there, so I'm gonna collapse them all. The next file in here is scripts file. So app bundle, and what exactly this file is, you don't need to know, I guess. These are just the script files that are being used by the Aurelia universally vector bundle. And in case you have some time, then simply just go ahead and read these files. App bundle is a little bit less of a file. Require.js, as I said in the earlier of the part of this episode, here we used it in the aurelia.json, that is require.js, which prepended that file to somewhere over here. And then there's the text.js. In case you got the time, just go ahead and read through this file. This file is really interesting. And another file is vendor bundle underscore js, which has 25,000 plus lines. And if you are not doing anything, if you don't have any work, go through this file. I don't really care, but I guess if you go over there on the internet, and you might be able to find out the more segregated version of this, and it might help you a lot. In case you are very much fond of reading the code, that's a really good habit, because I learned myself by reading the code. I have never ever been to a coding school ever before. The next part in here is test, and I'm gonna be going over the source, but not right now. Now what exactly is test is, you just go ahead and test the application without visiting the browser, and you make sure that it runs flawlessly throughout every single platform that you're gonna be using, because if it runs on command line properly, it's gonna run everywhere properly. Now Aurelia uses unit testing. Now there are two or three types of testing. I don't want to go over the testing part here, but Aurelia has unit testing, and it uses Karma for the unit testing. Now there are so many testing libraries too, like there's the Jasmine, I guess. Yeah, there's Jasmine and Karma. I know two of those testing libraries for JavaScript, and I have been working with Karma for quite a lot now. So obviously Karma is kind of good library in case you want something to be just you know get up and running. The next is setup.js. Now some of you might be that there might be controversy theory that, hey, Jasmine is better. Well, I don't really care. I love Karma, by the way. So there's setup.js, which just sets up your app spec.js. Now this kind of thing, if you have ever worked with Ruby on Rails, you might already know what exactly it is, and it's way more readable than anything in JavaScript. Well, describes the app to when it says the hello, expect the message from the new app to be hello world. How easy was that? Like, it wasn't even it didn't even take that quite long for me to read all of these things. So obviously this code is quite readable, and what it imports in here is the app file, which is inside of my source directly. Now you see where I am linking. So inside of app.html, there's the message. Now, in case you are wondering what exactly is that time, I was just, sort of playing around because my internet connection was a little bit down and I was waiting for it to go up. So I was just playing around this library and it went quite up a bit up quite after that. So obviously what exactly this is app.html, app.js, and these are the files that are the root of your all the directories. So obviously in the app.spec.js you see all of these things, and they are quite readable. As I said, this is the spec testing, I guess. I don't really remember, I don't know why, but I don't remember the names of the testing types of testing. So you might already know those names and you might be like, hey, those are the names, but sorry, I don't really remember the names. It's been like a month since I have been kind of slowed down on the internet and kind of slowed down on the development environments too, even though I try to go ahead and push one commit every day, but things slow down some of the times. But I'll be trying to get back on the track, and if I'll be getting some money on the Patreon, I'll be making this my full-time job. But anyways, that's I don't know. I know I'm completely getting off the topic a lots of times, and this video is already like over wow, 17 fucking minutes. Oops, I'm sorry. 17 minutes long. So the last part, source, might take 5 minutes for me to explain everything in here. Now there are 4 different files, and as soon as you went over to the index.html, you saw here I was referencing to the main. Now what exactly is main is the main.js, and what is in here is it imports the environment from environment. Now what exactly is environment? Well, you are setting its environment to something like dev.js, and that is just a simple boilerplate. And by the way, just in case you guys didn't know, it's just a simple thing. Anybody can understand that. Now the next thing that they did was they promises are one of the thing, like in ECMAScript 6 they have been defined in quite understandable way. So obviously I'll be getting more promises in ECMAScript series, I guess, not in this series at all. Maybe at some point I might reference to it, but even though I'll not be getting into the promises in this series. Export function configure. Now it exports the function named as the configure, and it defines what exactly it should do. Well, obviously the file itself doesn't do anything. Now environment.js, it doesn't do a shit, but what does everything is inside the aurelia.use.development logging. Then it uses plugin, and then it starts the application. Now that's what exactly it happens. Now this is one of the most important lines in aurelia.js, which is used to set up the root for your file and folders. So you can go over that you can dig in right now, or else if you are watching this after a little bit of time that next episode is up, you can simply skip over to the next episode. I don't think so even it will be in the next episode. It might be in like 4th, 5th, 6th episode, I guess, but it will be there. and I'll be telling you guys how to exactly to set up the roots. Now, the next thing we have here, app.html and app.js. Now it's a very simple file. Now I'll be removing some of the unnecessary code in here and that you don't really need to see. There we go. That's all the code that you need to see that came up with the default file. So obviously inside of the app.js there's export class app, and then there's constructor which has message named as hello world. Now what they did in the app.html, they simply set the template. What exactly does that mean? It's just a template, don't really worry about that. It just replaces any of the part that is inside in here, it just goes ahead and puts it right over here. So don't really worry about that, I don't even care. But it is just good to know that templates are a thing. Then there's the message which I'm printing in bold, and obviously and then there goes everything out, and then there's a folder. And remember what I said, there was something in the generators: attributes, binding behaviors, elements, and value converters. Obviously two of those things were right over here. I told it to you guys right at that time. So what exactly is in here is, this is the source file inside of which there's a resource directory which contains several of these files. Now what exactly does that mean? As soon as you go to the index.js file inside here, think of it as the asset directory for your Aurelia application. Now there are several attributes. Now this is not a thing to be covered in this episode, I know, but there are so many things. Bindings are there, which we might go in the next 2 or 3 episodes. Elements are there are value converters, which means just you can go ahead and convert the values and the stuff like that. So obviously all of these things are completely the part of the different episodes of this series, and I'm gonna be going over them, but that was it inside of your file. Now just in case you're wondering, in case you are in the big scale project, now I'm not targeting this video just for the noobs, I'm even targeting this for a little bit advanced people. So what if you have so many files, like you have so many routes. It is not just a single page application. You have so many routes, like you are going to go to users, you want to go to posts, you want to go to comments and everything like that, just like on YouTube, right where I are right now. You want to go to channel, you want to go to trending section, you want to go to your account settings, you want to go to your creator studio. Just like that, you can simply go ahead and mess around the things. Then at that time all you need to do is create some new folders in here. This is what I recommend. Alright, app.html and app.js are the part of the main source directory, whereas you can go ahead and create in the new folder, like say users, and I can simply just say in here 2 different files, users.html, and I can create another file in here like users.js. So just like that, you can simply go ahead and create that thing. I'm gonna delete it. So that's how you're gonna set up the routes, and that's just a standard thing, I guess, but I do it in that way. So the code really remains a little bit inside of your hands, because when the code gets out of your hands, code designing is one of the most important practice that you have to do while learning to code. Don't do it, by the way, at the starting point, because until and unless you are not in the mess, you're not going to understand what exactly is the importance of the proper assertion of the codes. And then I don't even know what I said over there. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for 100 subscribers. Like, that means a lot to me. So I guess I'm gonna be simply stopping this video right over here, and peace out.